Okay, in the previous video, I have shown how to display data on the serial monitor. But serial monitor is not only for displaying data only. We can also use a serial monitor to communicate with the Arduino or to control the Arduino. In other words, we can turn on LED, for example. We can control the motor rotation, for example, from the serial monitor into the Arduino. So how to do this? If you want to know how to do this, then please watch this video. And now let's open this Arduino IDE here, and we directly start to code the process. So basically, as you can see in this Arduino IDE, I have already filled in these parts here because this is basically from the previous lecture where we define constant, the LED pins, and then but I also add this variable here which name data. Which is in character, not in integer, not in float, but in character, meaning that the data that will be sent to the Arduino is the character, which means it's either A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, just a single character. So this is the data that we will send to the Arduino. And now we go to the void setup. So void setup, as usual, since we want to use the serial monitor, and therefore we need to initialize the serial monitor with a baud rate of 9600, and then we define the LED or the pin 11 here as output. So you can pause this video as usual if you want to write this code first, and then after you're ready to proceed, then you can play again. So if you are ready, let's directly go to this void loop here to program our coding. So the coding is basically we want to send data from the serial monitor, so therefore we need to check whether the serial monitor is available or not. So which means we will check serial.available, which should greater than 0. Why greater than 0? Because meaning that there are data streams that we will transmit to the Arduino. So if serial available is greater than 0, or if there are any data available in the serial monitor, and we will do this task in this if statement, which first we will check whether what the data is. So the data is should be read from the serial monitor, which means we use data is equals to serial dot read, because it need to read from the serial monitor. So serial read, as simple as that. So serial read, what does serial read means? Again, it just read the data from the serial monitor. So this is what the first thing we need to check. So we need to write the data, or we need to get the data from serial monitor. And when we get the data from serial monitor, so we check what is the value of data from the serial monitor. So if, let's say, if I want to on the LED by using character 1, so meaning that we will check if data equals to 1. So if data equals to 1, so it will turn on LED. So the turn on statement will be in the if statement here. So which means that to turn on LED, as usual, LED is just a digital output, so just the digital, and turn on is digital write, which we will write the output. The output now is that we want to write is the LED at pin 11. So which means that digital write LED turn on is high. So that's it, to turn on. Let's say if you want to check our whether the serial monitor is really transmitting the data or whether this value is really read from this value 1 is really being read by the serial monitor. So how to recheck that, how to reconfirm that? As usual, we can use the serial monitor again to check that, which is by using serial print line, which is the LED on. So this statement is not compulsory, but like I've mentioned in the previous video, it is best to use this serial monitoring to check whether your coding is right or whether the function that you trying to do is actually executing well. So in other words, if it is not executing well, we can check which part is actually wrong. And this is why again I just put it here so that we can check whether it is really transmitting or whether the coding is correct if suddenly the hardware is not working. So here it's not compulsory again, but the best practice for you. And this is to turn on LED. Let's say if we want to use character 1, if you want to use character A, then you change here to A. It's up to you. Whatever values you want to put here, whatever character you want to use here. And notice that this is not in double quote but just a single quote, because we want to compare the characters by characters. We don't compare the statements or the words. We just want to compare the characters, and that's why it only have a single quotes here, not double quotes. So again, make sure you check carefully, you don't make a mistake here. And this is to turn on, and as usual, if we turn on the LED, we need to also turn it off again, and therefore we can just copy and paste, because I quite lazy to rewrite again. So just copy and paste here, but maybe if we want to send 1 to turn on, so maybe to turn off we just send 0, for example, and therefore we can just use 0 here, and as usual, turn off, set it low again, and then LED off. So that's it. That is the only lines of codes for the void loop, or for the reading informations from the serial monitor and transmit it into the Arduino. That's it. Meaning that what you want to know, what the codings is just this statement here, serial available greater than 0, and also this. Instead of we use digital read from the button like in the previous video, but now we read from the serial. So it's not different, it's just almost the same like the digital read, but now it is serial read, not digital read, because we read from the serial monitor. So meaning that the only two coding that is responsible to transmitting this information is just these two lines here only, or this is the only new information that I want to share in this video. Actually, just these two single lines here, the serial.read and serial.available. So as usual, after we have done completing the codes, as usual, let's try to run this code. So as usual, you can verify first to check whether your coding is right, whether is there any mistake in your coding. It's ready. Let's check for the board. Make sure everything is correct before we start to upload. Just a normal practice, then just click upload. Alright, done uploading. Now let's open this. To check it, let's open this serial monitor. So now we can write it here. Write it here, which as we see here, what we want to transmit is basically 1. So 1 is turned on. So 1 is turned on. So now let's look at the circuit here. So when I send 1, enter, so it will write LED on, and the LED should be on the Arduino. So now meaning that the coding is correct. So let's turn it off again. To turn it off again, just send 0. So now it shows LED off, and the LED is actually off in the hardware. Again, this is why we need this information here, so that we know that the serial monitor is really reading our data. But if let's say this is correct, but somehow your hardware is not functioning, then we directly know that your connection is wrong. So the coding is right, the connection is wrong. So we just need to check the connection only. So now let's try one more time. So 1 turn on, and then 0 turn off. So simple. As you can see, it's not that hard. It's just a simple addition of 2 lines here. This is a basic way for you to control an Arduino from other devices, but this is the way for you to control by using this USB cable. You can also control Arduino by using wireless, which we can also using Zigbee, for example. And for my students who get the hardware from me, so you can check your list of hardware. So basically you also get this one here. So this is what you see here is the HC05. So try to search for this device here in the list of hardware that I give, which is the Bluetooth, the Bluetooth module. This also can be used for you to communicate or to control your Arduino. So if you want to use Bluetooth, so you can choose, you want to try to control your Arduino by using Bluetooth, you can choose this HC05 here and try to connect it in your Arduino and try to communicate it with the Arduino. Then pair it with your phone, for example, with your Bluetooth phone Bluetooth, and then using any app that you can find available in the Play Store, and then you can try to send these characters, whatever characters, to the Arduino, and use this Arduino IDE here with a little bit editing that you need to do, which then you just use this Arduino IDE to translate that information, that character, into action. What action you want to do, or what action you want to ask your Arduino to do. And if you want to explore a more advanced version, basically I have also designed or developed an Android app to control the stem board. So basically that remote control just only transmitting these characters only, which I just use F for forward, and then R for reverse, left, L for left, and R for right. As simple as that, just a single characters, and then it will translate that information by using this Arduino IDE to control the motor direction, so that it can turn left, turn right, go forward and reverse. If you want to try to use that app, you can download it from my blog, and the sample code is also there for you to explore on how to communicate with a Bluetooth HC05 here, and try to change it so that you can try to play around with the coding so that you can control your Arduino. But if you want to know more on how to develop the Android app to control the Arduino, so basically as usual, you can get my book here, the electronic systems, the robot and the apps that I've shown in the previous video. So you can get this book here. This book has also shown every detail from the basic, from the beginner aspect, from the starting on how how can you design an Android app by using a very basic software, very basic Android app development software, which we call the MIT App Inventor. So if you never use, if you want to also know how to develop the app itself, so you can also get this book here, which also show how to communicate with the Bluetooth. As usual, I take this advantage to promote my book, hashtag dan promo. If you interested to get one, so get one, but if you don't interested to get one, so it's fine, it's up to you. And that's it. That is just the basic for this video this time around. But this is only for a character. Let's say if you want to send more than just a single character, let's say if you want to control the brightness of LED, which means you need to send the PWM values, which range from 0 to 200 and 255. So since there are a range of values, which is not only a 0 to 1, low to high, so which means we can't use this program here, which we need to edit this program here a little bit more. So if you want to know more how to do that, then stay tuned for my next video. So as usual, stay safe, stay curious, and stay joyful. I'm Ikhwan. May God bless you. Assalamualaikum.